now. So welcome to Wayne from Zivora, and welcome to everyone to the July Tech Talk. Wayne gave me a demo recently and I really liked what I saw. So we thought to let all of you guys at AAT know about this. It's a great tool for collaboration with clients, understanding and managing financials, and it has some very cool tools for playing around with different scenarios and budgets and forecasting. So I hope you all enjoy it, and over to you, Wayne.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for your time. Yes, indeed, I'm very keen to keep it interactive. So as I go through and bring it to life, feel free just to interject, ask questions, and be curious. I guess a little bit of background on myself and the story which created Zivora. Zivora, first of all, as a word, it comes from a Hebrew background meaning radiant light. So we very much want to shine the light on the business's financials. When we looked at our own financials with our accountant, it just felt like a really stifled, stop-starty kind of interaction between meetings. And we thought there's got to be some way to make it more fun, make it more obvious to us as non-accountants, and how we can make it better. And that's the background where I come from. So my business partner and I, Prasanna, we've always specialized in data visualization, how we take data and make it look beautiful and help it to tell a story. I tell a story to people that really don't understand data, get bored by it. And you know, accounting data is not different from other data families that we've looked at. We've done it a lot within banking, within customer relationship management systems, and we thought there's a great opportunity to help the small businesses in Australia. So small businesses who don't have access to data analysts and people that can slice and dice data and can't afford it. Everything that we do can be automated when it comes to taking data, visualizing it, and how you interact with it. And that was effectively the genesis that is Zivora. So I might just start sharing my screen.
So just while you're doing that, just for people, if you would like to ask questions, please use the Q&A function, and I'll keep an eye on that, and we can address some questions throughout the presentation, or we've got time for questions at the end. So just feel free to ask any questions, and I'll probably have a few of my own along the way. That's great to hear what Zivora means.
Sorry,
I like it.
The screen sharing is disabled. I don't know, is there a button on your side you can post?
Have a go now.
Here we go. Beautiful. I'm just going to share everything. Awesome. All right. So let me take you through from the website first of all. So Zivora, the website, if you just go there, so it's zivora.co, it's .co, not .com. And on the website, you've got the ability to check out a little bit about what Zivora is, but nothing's as easy as just getting in there and doing it yourself. You're minutes away from actually getting the experience I'm going to show you. I've just got up the pricing that's there. We're just changing the pricing this week. So the first company will be free for yourself as accountants. And then it grows from there as far as it gets cheaper, the more companies that you integrate with your Xero account. So at the moment, yes, we only integrate from Xero's data. We will be doing it with QuickBooks, MYOB later in the year. QuickBooks is in progress as well. And that's basically it. So from the website, you can log in there. I don't go in via the website. It just comes up as one of my favorites in my browser. There's a 2-week free trial, so completely free. And then we've got a special code that I think might have been in the invite for your community to give you a 60% discount for, I think it's 6 months is what we've put on. So I'll talk more about that later to give you a real, I guess, a real kick into it, and during this crazy COVID period with your businesses. Okay, checking in. So with Zivora, first of all, getting in there, there's 3 user stories. So 3 stories that we bring to life for the business. What is the income and expense story? Teach me about my income and expenses. Teach me about my cash flow. And then teach me how do I, plan and track for the future. So budgeting. As I mentioned, it's only 0 at the moment. So I've just got 1 account here that I'm an owner of, the shed, and we've pulled that together. Now, Zivora, it continually in real time looks at your Xero file, and anytime you've done an update there, it'll set for a load instantly into Zivora. So you won't have to hit the sync button. It'll pull the data in. But if you want to suck it in, you can hit the sync button and do that faster. And you can add as many companies as you want, obviously within the app, and then that's what then affects the billing if you reach a new tier. Then what we've got is the ability to invite people. So invite the business owner, or if a business has got Zivora before you have, invite them in and share. So you can share as an editor or as a commenter, new people that you want to see their financials and learn. We've got lots of charities that love the whole board to see the financials, so they don't have to send out PDFs and board papers and make that a stop-start process, but they can communicate and see it within the application, as well as many accountants who are helping a business out with some finance with a bank. The banker has access to see Zivora as well. Then the other feature, just to let you know, is we've got the ability to see, let me just move the image down to here, is comments and notifications. So today I synced. If there were any comments that have been tagged to me, would appear there, and notifications which are alerts, where I've set alerts to ping me if something's going wrong that I need to have a look at, or the business owner needs to have a look at, and other things that we've done. Last thing on the menu at the top is the feedback button. So any feedback that you have, we are passionate about feedback, and I'm keen to get as much as possible here from you today. But what you need to make your life easier, you can just type that feedback in there and send it through to us. And you have the option as well as sending a screenshot if the feedback you're doing is contextual to what your feedback is. That then goes straight into our queue to be prioritized and get it done. Obviously, we've got help down the bottom, so it's just like Google. I'll just keep moving this little screen around to show us what questions you've got. You just type in the question. So how do I share visuals? And it will bring up things on sharing or inviting others to have a look. And so you can then see that. There's lots of nice videos on there that make it really easy as well. Let's cancel that. And also within the app, on every one of the visuals, we've got like a little video which explains exactly how to use it. But as you'll see, it gets pretty easy when you're in there. Okay, so that's pretty well all the features. Oh, last thing on the name at the top right, if you're the owner, you can change some of the details, one on yourself. So change your photo, change your logo there, or any of your business details. So all that's there, as well as a few other little things, but it's pretty obvious as you'd expect in an administrator panel. Okay, so let's get into the income and expense story. So looking at the last 24 months of the income and expenses, how do they look over time? So every little green dot in this case for this client is $1,000. Every red dot is $1,000 as well. And so we're looking at how that business has been going, in fact, going downhill over the last period as far as income and expenses, but still looks fairly viable. This is all test data. The next thing we want to do is, okay, so I can see where we've gone income and expense wise in proportion over the last period. I want to look at what are the top 3 income and expenses for that period, whether it's by Xero account or Xero contact. So Xero contact or Xero account, and we can see then the details in terms of the top. In this case, I'm looking not just at the top 3 income and expense drivers, but the whole lot. Okay, the next story that we've got is looking at the movement. So of those drivers, that's where it's at right now. But what's gone up or down in the last 3 months? So the top three income drivers that have made the biggest difference, have they gone up or down? And the same with expenses. Then we get into seasonality. So looking at over periods in time, how has seasonality affected income and expenses? So looking at, we just got the first month of this financial year coming in with July, looking at how it compared to previous periods in the previous 2 years. And then we've got each of the graphs in the visuals that you see, they have a nice little commentary under it. Then we get into profit and loss. So choose the 2 years that you want to compare your profit and loss to. Choose, do I want to look at cash or accrual method, and it instantly updates. If I want to download it to PDF and go old school dance, I can absolutely do that too. So here, effectively, we can see the whole profit and loss nicely categorized out all in one. So as you can see, that income and expense story is similar to the cash flow and the baseline that we've got for your plan and track. You had to do nothing other than syncing. When you first log on, it takes probably about a minute just to set up your account, specifically within the free trial. We've got the promo code there as well. And then it takes you, depending on how big your Xero file is, it takes you probably a minute or two, just that very first sync, to bring in all of the data. And then it's not so big on subsequent syncs. And yeah, all the visuals that you see are there. Perhaps if I pause, if anyone's got any questions, either in the chat or verbally, that you'd like to ask about this screen.
There's nothing come through in Q&A yet. I'm just wondering, is there flexibility with editing the layout of the accounts in the P&L, or is that governed by what's in Xero? How does that work?
Yeah, fantastic question. Yes, it's governed by everything as you've entered it into Xero. One of the things that we've just been asked in a couple of demos lately is ways that they want to group some of the operating expenses. So we're looking at a feature to enable grouping with expense groups. So for example, if you had 10 people that you had categorized as separate salaries, could we bring together just as a salary line?
The other thing that occurs to me is it might be great to see different levels, where for some, presenting to some people, they just want, the high level overview, not so much every GL account. Is that something that you're looking at doing, is offering different levels of reporting?
So that would be grouping. Is that grouping the line?
Well, I guess grouping, yes, you could, I guess you could call it that. I was meaning more that you could easily sort of flip between different levels, so you could see summaries or all the detail underneath the summary. Anyway, I guess the grouping would probably take care of that.
Grouping does it then, absolutely. We are developing, so in the coming months, 2 new tabs will appear here. So we're doing an executive summary. So it'll kind of summarize up, like for people that have low attention spans and
yeah, that sounds good.
The detail. It'll give them a snapshot on very key indicators, leading indicators and insights that they need to see across the whole story. And the separate thing that we're doing for bookkeepers and accountants is a practice dashboard. So you'll be able to benchmark all your clients against each other and see how, on average, how many clients do I have, and how much, what's their cash flow, what's the profit and loss of all my clients. On average, all my clients grow at 20% fantastic in their cash. But I've got these clients are currently only growing at 5%. So what do I need to do about that? And obviously those insights on benchmarking can be motivating for your clients themselves.
Interesting.
Every business.
Will you be able to choose who you compare? So for instance, if I've got several in the same industry, could I just compare just those?
Great question. Yes, on sign up, and you probably could see it when I did the into the administrator panel. You choose what is your industry, and you'll be able to filter on just showing certain industries, or show us your all of you've got in your practice.
So this might be getting a bit ahead, because I know you'll look at budget further on, but can you do a P&L report like that against your budget figures?
Against future figures, no, we haven't had that come up yet, but you know, I'm going to write that down as a.
There we go. Well done, AAT people. Giving him some homework already. I remember from the demo you showed me, well, I hope I'm remembering correctly, that we could look at different scenarios for budgets. You could
Yes.
easily tweak that, couldn't you? And so
I'll when I get to budget, you'll kind of see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So Jenny, there might be a bit more to come on your question.
Very good. So just the other little indicator I didn't show here is every visual that you see, you can comment on. So here we can type a little comment. So if Joe was part of my crew, you know, in this case it's Summer. Hey Summer, what happened here? And then ping it off. Now, if Summer's in app, he'll get pinged, just like in, you know, Facebook Messenger, he'll get pinged of that message. If he has set it up so that he gets emails, he can get those comments as emails. Or if he set up his WhatsApp, he can get it on his phone or on WhatsApp. So all of our notifications will come through as WhatsApp SMSs. So very much what that does is it starts to not mean that I can start to see and play with the data, but I can ask you as my bookkeeper questions. And I had an accountant yesterday in Barrel. And what he does with his clients is he doesn't really like to answer the phone much. So his client's leaving messages, and then what he does is he sends them a little Loom video back. So all of our help videos are done using Loom, so it just has you know, your face in the bottom, and he walks through and explains the data similar to our help videos, and then just sends that to the client to, you know, answer their question, explain it, and teach them how to look at their own data and learn.
Great, love it.
I don't know if anyone on the call does that, but let me know if there's other Loom, Zoom people want to rock it with Zivora, then bring it on. Okay, getting into cash flow. So let's look at our cash flow. So we're looking at, you know, where have we been in the past? So that is our little blue line here. And then how we're forecasting out into the future. It's quite flat at the moment with this test data, but what it's showing is it's taking, to create the cash flow, it does three things. One, it looks at any future dated invoices that are to be paid or pay. It puts them in whatever that future date is. The second thing that it does is it takes any invoices that are overdue that should have been paid in the period gone by. It'll forecast them out to be paid in that next month period. So assuming that the business owner, whoever's helping chase their debts and pay their suppliers, gets onto that. The third thing that we use to predict cash flow is we bring across any of the major current liabilities that we see in your balance sheet. So GST, you know, to be accrued for, pay as you go, or superannuation. And that then calculates, so what's our cash flow going to be at in the next 30 days for this client, 1.39 million. Now, if you want to see the detail, just click the show table detail, and you'll see all of the detail that goes into creating the cash flow. Then you'll have a chance to actually edit it. So you can actually just go and see actuals and the projections, and then let's just say, do we want to edit the projections? And then we can edit those projections as they go. And if I want to actually compare actuals, so let's just play something here. Compare actuals to the projections. We can actually see to the extent here what's good versus needs work. Good being that our forecast is actually favourable, and from an actual perspective is turning out favourable. So we're looking at the month of July, which is almost finished. And so obviously we've had some payments that have been made, which is contributing to that, but they've been less. The payments that we've been made in black there are less than what we forecasted in brown. So hence green. And where we've unfortunately, so on a income perspective, we forecast we'd get 25, that was because of the entries I just did, 25,000 in, but we only got 13, so hence we're behind. And yes, you've got all the details there that contribute into that whole cash movement with the formula very simply laid out on the left there. You can go forward into a full year forward. Okay, so that's cash flow, but what contributed to cash flow in detail? Let me understand what's the main factors. So looking at debtor days versus creditor days, invoice tracking, so bills that I need to pay or invoices owed to me, what's still on track versus what needs to be paid, what's overdue and needs to be paid in the future. And once again, comment on all of these and go, Wayne, hurry up and pay it. And filter on any other factors. And then you can see the invoices that are due in buckets or in all the details. So that's effectively just really focusing me as a business owner on things I need to be on to pay or get paid. Any questions on cash flow?
Nothing at the moment. So no, I think carry on for the moment, and we'll see if some more questions come through.
So getting on to now, so I had some accountants in Melbourne, actually, lovely Melbourne, and they said their clients, most of their clients were, everything I've shown you today, they said our goal is to get them all up to speed with that by the end of the year. And then planning and tracking is where we want to start focusing on next calendar year. So we want to start them budgeting. So he's a young accountant. He's got obviously some new and quite immature clients, but just those first two stories is enough. Planning and tracking and forecasting the future, baby steps. For him, that was something that was new for them, but you might have clients that are more mature from that perspective. So planning and tracking. The first thing we see are three of the key metrics that we're going to track our future budget against versus where it's at today. What's in the past is the black line as to what's happened, and the budget, in this case, the budget I've created, the big budget, is using this blue colouring. But I've got some other budgets I've created there. Some of them are similar. It's using the same database, and in this case, there's a dark purple here for the one I just created for Philippa. And then the future, which Zivora has automated as far as where it thinks the future will go, is the dotted line versus what I've set in my budget is the purple line. And only when the new month ticks over do we bring in all the actuals and convert the actuals over to actually happening as opposed to the forecast in that month. So even though things have happened in July, unless you get all the payments in, your gross profit for July can look weird, for example. So as I hover over the graphs, you can see that the indicators are changing there. Okay, so we've got the actual forecasters. So here's the budgets. If I want to create a new budget, do I want to base that on Zivora's own last year's financials predicted forward, or do I want to base it on one of the budgets that I created previously that you can see in the list there? But no, I've decided I think I'm going to go and create it from last year's financials and change that. So that is team. So I'll just rename that budget team, and that budget's been created. Okay, so let's go in and edit. So we can go in and edit similarly to the cash flow. I can take away the showing actuals, so how good was I at estimating in the past, and just look at what I've budgeted and edit those budgets. So yeah, go through and edit that along the way. We are looking at adding in the percent increase across the board, just so you can effectively automate doing updates if you need to budget throughout that year. And then I can then go in and compare. So how did I actually go? And you'll be able to do that for periods in the past as well. So how good was I at actually estimating and budgeting? So red's not good. I under or over towards the business's favorability versus others. So therefore now looking, I think, to the question that came out before, we've got total income, cost of goods sold, gross profit. Is that what you're looking for when it came to net profit, gross profit from a future forecasting budget perspective?
There's just a bit of noise interference there, so I didn't quite catch. Were you asking a question?
Apologies. Yes. So there was that great question in the chat. Just looking, if someone was looking, feel free to bring it forward and talk yourself. Just on seeing on the budget the future net profit over time. So we're doing that, yes, every month. We're forecasting that out based upon what we've entered in for our budget, and you can see how that changes the formulas for net profit, gross, or efficiency ratio.
It's great that it's just so immediate that you've got, you know, you can set up as many different budget scenarios as you want, but then your visualization at the top of the screen is just immediate. You know, if you want to see it, the team budget versus the big budget versus another budget, you know, it's great. Could you just speak to the budget and Xero? I mean, we've got the option to set budgets in Xero. So what's the benefit, say, of setting the budget in Zivora over setting it in Xero?
A great question, Joe. So just for clarity, everyone, we don't take the data from the Xero budget and populate it here or populate it back. It's all about bringing it into Zivora. So Zivora has all the other features that come with it. So the interaction with your clients, the ability to comment, the ability to set alerts, which is a feature I haven't shown yet. And so we're continually building those out. So we think that it's simple for you as a business owner. That's what we specialize in. And that's why that's the feedback we get from our clients as to why Zivora is much helping. For those that have used others like Spotlight, Fathom, Futurely, there's a lot of work that has to be done to get it to this point. This is pretty well instantly presented and very much save you time in what you have to do to create the story for your business. And then for them to interact and learn themselves. That's where we've gone. We were set up just Christmas last year, and COVID came in, and it's never been as ripe a time as far as creating something that can make it really easy for people to use who no longer meet physically, but can interact with their financials. And so that's where we're continually growing and specializing in. We're also looking at populating, so for bookkeepers and accountants, we'll be able to be referrers for lending and financial instruments and solutions. So I'm talking to a few financial providers and banks where we will then in Zivora be able to recommend, okay, so overdraft, invoice financing, whatever the solution is that the business needs, you can tap here and we'll suck all the Xero data straight into their application. So to really make it easy, that the bookkeeper and accountant doesn't have to be accredited for responsible lending guidelines. You don't have to be accredited to be a banker, but the tool itself can refer on. And that's where we're going in the future as well.
Wow, okay. Interesting developments coming along.
Bring on questions, whether you want to say them or speak them in the, type them in the chat. I'll just show you one last feature is alerts. So the ability to set an alert. So what we've got on the...
Sure. You've got some bad interference there with your mic.
Just take that off. That's crackling.
Yeah, try again. No, we can't. We've lost you now. We lost your mic.
Just do. Switch to phone audio.
See. Okay, it sounds like you're back.
I'm back now.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, just stay there, whatever you've done.
We'll go with that. Let me know if it goes. I've got the details and I'll dial in if it goes again. Okay, so I'll take you through the last feature, which is the alert settings. So this is where I want to be pinged. I want to know. I don't want to have to go in and dig and see if there's something I need to look at. I just want to be told that there's a problem here or the business owner. So you can go in and set an alert. So for example, you know, tell me is the name of this alert. I want to know if the gross profit margin, if the actuals are 1% greater than the budget. For example, I want to email everyone, I want to SMS everyone, and I want them all to get alerted at the same time. That's a problem until it gets solved. I'm just going to email Summer and I'll SMS Summer. There you go. And then you just save that, and then that alert is created. And if the alert comes about, so in this case, it didn't actually create one that does. We've got, let me check here. I'll just change the alert, yeah, to create an alert on the screen. Edit. Okay, saved. Okay, so now we've got an alert. So we can see here that alert is happening. So it's saying the variance between budget and predicted forecast is a value of 26%. So we're 26% out. My tolerance was 1%. Tell me if I'm 1% out. So obviously that's a ridiculously small tolerance, but that'll ping me. So it'll obviously tell me on screen that there's a problem. In that case, I've already set it to email myself and WhatsApp me so that I know if it's out. Thoughts or questions on alerts?
I think that looks great. I mean, especially at the moment where, you know, we hope business owners are keeping a close eye on their financial management. It's a great tool to have.
Yeah, that's the key thing we wanted to do was make it so that you could get the business motivated and draw them in, get them excited to look at their numbers. Yet some of them you still might have to send, you know, PDFs and have, you know, face-to-face meetings, or send them that Loom talk. But at least if they get pinged, it'll keep it top of mind where their business is at. And that'll be part of your offering to do that for them. So that's the heart of what we were trying to do. So in that practice dashboard, in fact, you're going to not only be able to benchmark your clients, but you'll be able to see two things. One, how engaged is that client with their financials? Or how engaged am I or my team with my clients? So we can see how often a business owner goes in, and you can see how often your team goes in and communicates with the client. And so we can give you an engagement level as to, you know, how engaged are we with the client and the client with us. So that'll be in there as well.
Sounds great. So I know that a lot of us have trouble with exactly that, engaging business owners with really getting interested in their financial reports. They're interested in what's in their bank, a lot of them, but not so interested in what, you know, the performance and understanding the financials. So what do you see is the single, you know, the biggest benefit, say, for bookkeepers in this system, and how we can use it to really engage those business owners that we know they need to know more, but they don't, and they're not that excited about it, you know?
Look, I think the two things is that you can comment, they'll get an email, or you can set up the alerts, and they'll get notified. Now, it'll alert them that, oh, gross profit margins, you know, different compared to on your budget compared to where you actually thought. Most people will get that. The first time they get that, they'll go, what's this? I don't understand. They'll probably ring you. I mean, obviously you would have told them that, you know, you'll get alerts if it moves outside our budget. But it'll have them ringing you to explain what's going on. And then you can dig in and understand, well, that's because we haven't paid this bill, or because, you know, that we need to chase that customer. And here's what it means to help you have, you know, greater viability and greater growth in your business. So that's why we very much, absolutely, Joe, focused on creating those alerts, notifications, and the commenting, so that people can stay interactive with their numbers. The second thing to get to help businesses get, I guess, motivated is when you bring in all your businesses, you'll be able to then benchmark and show, well, on average, my businesses grow 20%. I've got, 4 businesses in your industry, but you're currently growing at 15%. I want to get you up to the 20% mark. I think that's quite powerful. Business owners like to, I guess, everyone wants to be at the top of the league ladder.
Yeah, great. Okay. All right. And so should we go on to pricing for bookkeepers? Is that the next step, or is there something else you want to cover?
Let me share that. So that's pretty well it as far as what's in the tool itself. It's quite simple. It shows a lot, but it brings it in, and it's hard, and it was a long road to make something so simple and make it interactive. And we'd love your feedback on that tool. So let me just Alt Tab. Okay, so as I mentioned at the start, here's the website and the pricing here. So if you're a small business, the pricing is one company, it's $39 a month. So small business, if they're out on their own, they don't have a bookkeeper, it's going to cost them a lot more by themselves, because very much the power of what we wanted to do was help increase that virtual CFO value proposition for bookkeepers and accountants, by really, making the pricing as simple, fair, and transparent as it could be on this perspective here. So as I mentioned, we're just about to do an update. You'll probably see that that'll happen by the time the free trial for anyone that hops on today is through. And then also we are just putting in I'm just going to try to find it here. We've got is there an email that comes out after this, Joe, where I can put we've got a promo code to give you a nice big discount after the
fantastic. Well, we'll make something happen. I'm actually not sure, to be honest. Rochelle normally does the tech talks, so and we do record this, so yeah, there may well be a follow-up email. Leave that with me.
Okay, fantastic. Where is it, Wayne? I'm going to have to send it to you. I think I had it in the emails yesterday, but I think it's got your icon for your business in it, and 66. So it's going to be a 60% off of these prices for the next 6 months.
Wow, fantastic. Okay.
So it's near, it's almost down to the price of coffee if it's just one.
But that's a great incentive to try it out for a few businesses. I guess we could try it out for our own business, but pick a couple of clients to do a trial for a few months and just really get to know it in that time.
Indeed, really excited to get your feedback, and that's why we've also made it quite special for you.
Okay, let's just see if anyone's got any last burning questions about the product or the pricing.
Sorry, it took me a while. AAT 606.
606. Okay, AAT 606. How
do we go?
AAT 606.
Chat. Here we go.
Oh yeah, you put it in. That's better.
Free Windows. Then promo is 60% off. Site price just for you for 6 months. Awesome. Anyone's got any questions or ideas, then please do come back. Really, we live and breathe, and we drive this thing by what you want, what makes your life simpler and easier to add value to your virtual CFO proposition. Thank you.
Just mention again your timing for QuickBooks and MyOb and any other software.
Yep. So QuickBooks, we've done the pre-work. So we're looking for people to be beta testers in about 2 months' time. So if anyone's on, then please put your name in the chat or reach out to me. I'll put my email address. .co is in there. So QuickBooks, Cubio, beta testers on Zivora in 3 months' time or 2 months' time. We found there's only about 10% of people are left on MYOB. So if we do it, we'll do it before Christmas, but we'll probably end up taking Zivora to other countries before we do MYOB.
Mm-hmm. Yep, fair enough. Okay, well, look, no more questions have come in. So thanks so much for that great demo and overview. And thanks to everyone for attending. And this will be, in the Tech Talks recordings as well for anyone who wants to have another look. So thanks again, Wayne. Great to have you here.
Hey, Maria, you've asked a question. Did you want to finish that, or can I? Or maybe you haven't, I just can't see it. Yes, so I've just put the prices in the chat there, and I'll send you via email if you put your email address in there. But yeah, it's just on the website as well. Maria, thank you so much.
Lovely. Okay, well, thanks everyone. And we'll see you next month for another Tech Talk. And thank you, Wayne.
Beautiful to meet you all, and I wish I saw your faces. Maybe next time, or if we do a one-on-one together. Take care.
Okay, thanks, Wayne. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.